Oh boy, did we just see Belal scrapping with JDM. Really, am I dreaming? The antithesis of a striker, the one accused of holding legs and taking down throughout his life, was standing in the middle of the cage, and honestly, he did outstrike the challenger if we look at the stats. Guys, put some respect on his name. Today, most fans will be saying we remember the name Belal Muhammed. But why today? What made Belal do this? Did he just sacrifice his title to please the fans in attendance and millions watching around the world? Why did no one see this coming? And what about the future for Belal and the welterweight division? Let's talk more about it in this video. It seems like Belal was right. He did plan to knock out JDM, and that was the point where he lost the fight, even before he went into the battle at UFC 315.
For Belal, you know, my heart goes out to him. Yeah. He's a warrior, and he didn't fight his normal fight when he fought Leon Edwards. And
Belal has been termed as the most disliked fighter. Some would even go so far as to say he is the most hated fighter. But this week alone would have done a big turnaround on this stance from the majority of fans. Take a look at all these videos from YouTube saying he's the most hated fighter in the UFC. Some said boring, others said most hated. Forget others, even our channel, we did a case study of him being the most disliked fighter in the game. While all that was chatter among the masses, Belal hasn't done many favors for himself in his public dealings. And to make matters worse, Belal has been termed as a fighter who doesn't move the needle, which Belal himself accepted.
Dana? Nah, he keeps ignoring my calls. I keep trying to call him. I keep texting him. He's leaving me on red.
For the first time in his life, he went to please the fans, and honestly, he did more than what we expected from him. Belal left everything in the cage, and we gotta give props to him for that. We see a majority of comments praising his fight style, although some will still be hating on him due to their personal beliefs. But this ain't no undercurrent. Belal won the respect of the masses. Canelo hands was a running joke in the MMA community for months leading up to the fight. It raised eyebrows across the MMA world. Muhammad has never outboxed his opponents. While we all agree Belal ain't got hands like the legend that is Saul Canelo Alvarez, but we saw him scrap, which was a welcome surprise for most of us. Even his opponent was all praise for him for that.
Now, did he have Canelo hands in there?
He didn't. He props to him. He said he would stand in there. I didn't think he would, but he did, you know.
Maybe he should be splitting the paycheck with him for not relying on his grappling. Let's talk more about the fight we saw. I'm confident enough to say this fight will be recalled as a good old classic bout for years to come. Muhammad displayed his trademark pressure for the majority of the 25 minutes. He matched the Aussie's crisp boxing with his arsenal of newfound striking and stayed in the pocket looking to outstrike. While we saw an improvement on the striking side, the former champ wasn't able to dominate Madalena with his superior grappling. Such a defense has never been witnessed by any opponent of Muhammad's, and that was another shocker. Still, to his credit, Muhammad came out of UFC 315 trying to show those hands off. And that back and forth, it was Belal who was up on the stats and respect for the strikes. Now, tell me, how many of you thought that would happen after a full 5 rounds? Muhammad's self-imposed commitment to striking proved to be his undoing. He didn't secure his first takedown of the fight until the 4th round. By then, it was too late. It was an easy fight of the year contender. This was just the second time Belal got the fight of the night in his UFC career. Well deserved on that one, Belal. Like most of us, we were in the majority thinking and joking about Canelo hands, so the cake was on our face as well. If Belal had walked out of UFC 315 with that belt, we probably would have been lining up a fight between him and Shavkat Rakhmonov. Shavkat was the ideal choice for this title fight, but he couldn't make UFC 315 due to an injury. Timing hasn't been the best for the Kazakh native. This was an outstanding fight and ramps up the excitement around the welterweight division even more as we head into the second half of 2025. Now for Belal, he's in a weird spot. Most of the top dogs he could face are also coming off of a loss. Doesn't sound good on paper, but there are some spicy matchups on the table. Belal, however, can get a rematch with the former champ Leon Edwards or possibly against Sean Brady. And we all know the drama between Belal and another ex-champ, Kamaru Usman.
We invited him on a podcast, and it went how it went. Hopefully, we'll release that podcast because it wasn't really He was only there for like maybe 10 minutes.
Both have been constantly throwing shade at each other for over a year now. That beef is fresh. And speaking of beef, Colby Covington's here. He's always got his mouth ready to cash in and insert himself into fight conversations. Now, some purists might ask, why not an immediate rematch for Belal? Well, you know the reason. Before fighting Sean Brady in March, Rocky claimed that
I spoke to the UFC. Whoever wins this, fight for the title. Well,
the Second City native rebuffs this claim by responding on a podcast that
I don't know what Leon's thinking, but because like Leon, you have a full 3 years before you could even think about getting a rematch.
Well, this is a similar situation for Belal now. Sometimes your own words get back to you the hardest. Belal isn't a needle mover per Zuffa High Command. If Leon didn't get a rematch after losing the title, what makes you think he can have his say here? Whatever happens, we know he has to fight a contender, maybe 2 or 3 of them. And not only fight, but win before he can even get a sniff at the belt. So yeah, Belal might be out of the title picture for now, but trust me when I say the welterweight division is in for a spin. Let's talk about the champ, Jack Della Maddalena. He completely changed his career trajectory. He went from a solid underdog to the new when the majority didn't believe in him, and the best might be yet to come. But even before the pay-per-view up to the card, there was endless buzz about one man and one man only, Islam Makhachev. He's been eyeing that welterweight strap for a while now, but he's always made it clear he wouldn't go after it as long as his friend Belal Muhammed was champ. Loyalty is the first thing we expect from the boys from Dagestan, but now Belal's reign is done, and JDM is the champ, so that changes everything. Now the door is wide open for Makhachev to make the jump to 170 and chase that double champ status. And as good as Maddalena looked against Muhammad, we all know the Aussie will again be an underdog, this time even more so, because Islam is the pound for pound number 1 for a reason. The Dagestani is one of the most dominant grapplers we've ever seen, maybe even more so than his brother and former champ Khabib. He ain't no one-trick pony, he's got good hands with clean, precise, and dangerous striking. So buckle up, ladies and gentlemen, we might have another Fight of the Year contender on our hands. There can only be one loser from today's matchup, and that is Shavkat Rakhmonov, who might have to settle for a number 1 contender fight later on in the year, or possibly join the same card as JDM versus Islam. Whatever happens, Jack is your welterweight king. Time will tell how long JDM holds on to the belt, but for now, he's the true king of the welterweights. And back to where we started. Who would have thought Belal would even try to showcase his Canelo hands? Not to say we were not looking for it, but still mad props to Belal for a stand-up war that we saw, and it was beautiful. Much like Kamaru Usman after his first Colby fight. We might have seen a face turn here, and for sure he'll be treated better going forward by the crowd, and we hope that happens since it's long overdue for him. We all know the humanitarian work Belal does for his community, so it's a pleasant change to see him getting that applause. So that's it for today. What do you think of the fight, and do you feel the shift in perception towards Belal? Who should he fight next? And what about the new champion? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's keep the conversation going. And before YouTube pushes you off to another video, let's take a look at the video on your left. This age-old piece where we explore why Belal Muhammed is the most disliked fighter in the UFC today, with all due respect to Belal.